Welcome, beautiful people, to another conversation from Love and Action Network, where we believe deeply in encouragement, healing, human connection, and the radical truth that you are loved and lovable. I'm Dr. Flo, and today we're entering into a conversation that I think many people need. There are seasons of life where you're not necessarily living, you are surviving, you're functioning, you're getting things done. You're answering the phone, you're going to work, you're taking care of responsibilities. You may even be smiling, but underneath all of that activity, your body is telling a very different story. Our guest today knows something about that journey. Andrea Inojosa is a holistic healer, hypnotherapist, Reiki master, and Pilates instructor whose own journey through profound loss, trauma, and rebuilding her life inspired her to help other people reconnect with themselves and begin to feel safe in their bodies again. Her work centers around a beautiful idea. Healing isn't necessarily about becoming somebody new. Sometimes healing is about coming home to the person who was there all along. Andrea, welcome to Love and Action Network.
Thank you so much. It's a true pleasure to be here with you today and spread some light and love. And they also let people know that there is always a way out towards the light, even when we are going through the most difficult seasons of our life. But there is always a way that you can find it and go back to ourselves and to embrace our true authentic self. So it's light, love, and peace.
Amazing. I'm so glad that you're here. And before we get into the modalities, the techniques, nervous systems, Reiki, hypnotherapy, meditation, or any other things that you work with, I want to begin with the human being, Andrea. Who are you today? And what has the journey back to yourself taught you about who you actually are?
Oh my God, it has been a long, long journey. My journey started actually right after my divorce. I got a divorce in 2017, and on my divorce, when I got a divorce, I was staring at that woman in the mirror and I did not recognize myself. I lost my identity completely during my marriage. And right after my marriage, my daughter went into a very deep depression and she tried to take her own life. So I had to find a way to help my daughter. And from that, that's when it really started my healing work within myself. So I started to heal myself. And how I did that was through energy healing. So I started to become a part of some programs. That's how I started actually. It was to heal myself. And then through that, I started helping people. And then from that, I thought that I was going through a very beautiful journey in life. Everything was beautiful. My daughter was getting better and everything. And then I went to another very difficult traumatic season last year of my life that I was a scam, and I ended up losing everything, literally everything. Everything that I built in my life, I lost all my finance. I had no debt in my life. I went in a huge debt. And from that, Dr. Flo, what is difficult because you feel so much shame to when that for me it was shame that was the biggest feeling that came into me was how I was so naive to fall on this trap and how I could find myself, get the brave, have a brave and forgiving myself to tell my family what happened to me and to give me love, to give me acceptance, and really be able to feel all those emotions in order to heal properly. Because when I saw that I was in a very, I saw that my life was going a beautiful path doing energy work in helping people feel wake up every day feeling grateful, feeling very peaceful, and boom, life is come at you. Because I needed that lesson. I also believe that everything that happens for us in life, there is reason behind that. I believe that. I believe that's necessary for our own evolution. So I have to use that experience to make us think, not just think about, but also to be able to go to that emotions and find a place inside yourself to start feeling safe again because it takes a long time and you keep in the fight and the flight mode, and you have to find a way that you can balance that fight and the flight mode and come back to you, to yourself. Of course, not to be the same person, because every time that you go through a trauma in life, go to difficult season, we become a new being, but the essence is there. And every time that we go through that season, we evolve, we have a space to evolve, use that difficult season, and you get the what was the lesson behind that, what was the blessings that you can take of that experience, and it becoming this beacon of light and the love, and especially accept yourself. Love, learn to love yourself unconditionally. Know that you are a beacon of love and the light. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul to spread that beauty, that light that is inside you. Never be afraid to shine your own light. That's how that happened to me. It was difficult. I let myself really go to all the emotions, because I feel that when you spoke so right, we are always on the survival mode in a way that for the outside world we are function just right. We put a smile in our face. So many people are very high functional people. Most of the people are, and deep inside they are not fulfilled. Some people have a lot in life. They financially in a very good place. They have a great jobs, but deep inside, a lot of things are missing, and that's what's so important. You find that inside yourself, and be willing to make the necessary changes, and see to embrace your true authentic self and love yourself so unconditional that you know that you are a fucking amazing, awesome being.
Yes. Wow. What an opener. People think about survival mode, and they often imagine somebody whose life has completely fallen apart. But as you were saying, sometimes survival can actually look very functional from the outside. How does a person, through your work, recognize the difference between this is who I am and this is how I've learned how to protect myself and survive in life?
Most of the people that come to me, let me first talk to about myself very briefly. So for me, like when I got a divorce and I did not know who was that woman that was staring at in the mirror right after my divorce. So it's right after my daughter went in a very deep depression, and he tried to take her own life, and she went in coma and everything. And it was what happened was, even the doctors told me that was a miracle what had happened to my daughter, that she did not die. And not just that, she did not have any brain damage. That was something that the doctors had no explanation. I knew that I had to change something in my life. And I knew that in order to help my daughter, I had to heal properly. And then it was very beautiful, this journey for me, that I joined a healing program. It was mainly to heal myself, doing energy work. And I learned that energy is very powerful because you are a being of energy. And doing that, I started this program in August. And 2 months after, I was much lighter. I was could wake up for the first time in my life. I think I started to wake up feeling grateful, feeling peaceful, and feeling this stillness, this deep joy that no matter what was happening outside my life, but I could still find this stillness inside me and the gratitude. And that's when I realized that incorporating habit is like I know that I'm an energy healer, but even little habits like learning to meditate, I could never meditate. So I started to listen to guided meditation 5 minutes, for example. And that it had helped me. Took a long time for me to learn how to meditate properly, but it really has helped me a lot. Doing breath work, or even doing things that you are passionate about. Let's say, for some people, meditate is go to the gym. For some people, is go to walk in the nature. What I may say by that, when things are difficult, you have to take time, really feel the emotions, because most people they don't want to feel. And if they don't want to feel, what happens is you numb yourself. When you numb yourself, what will happen is you are not healing yourself. It's the opposite. You are pushing that to your subconscious mind, and that trauma is stay inside you, lodged there. And if you don't work on that trauma, what will happen? Life will happen to you, and you're becoming worse and worse because you don't know how to overcome that. And even though you're becoming high functional, is that a trauma lodge on you. But sometimes you have a lot in your life, everything in your life, but it's still you feel a huge hole inside yourself. That's because you don't know how to really learn to love yourself unconditionally and accept yourself unconditionally. So that started first for me, and then I started helping people after I joined this program. And I was never sick becoming an energy healer, hypnotherapist. But then when I finished my program, I started helping some people, and I started to have amazing feedbacks, like people is coming to me very stressed, extremely anxious. It's very few people that come to you and tell very honestly, my life is full of a huge trauma. Some people, they come and tell that they have childhood trauma, but many people, they don't. And then what I realized, they started coming to me, and after a few sessions, they start to feel lighter. They start to feel more authentic. Then they open much more themselves. And after a few sessions, they come to me. They don't even realize that they are getting better, but they used to tell Andrea, this happened to me in life, and I react in a very different way. I did not overreact. In that situation, some time ago, I was going to feel in a very different way. And they start to embrace their true authentic selves in a way that they become the elevated version of themselves. And they start to value themselves so unconditionally. It's so beautiful to see someone that's going through so much in life and they find their own light. That's the most beautiful thing. And every time I can help someone find the light, that I can help a little bit. It's like the universe, God, whatever I believe. I'm just being a vessel of this, and they help the people become the true authentic selves. It's amazing because when they do that, they are not just healing themselves, they are healing people around them. And then they start healing others, and that's how the world is healing. And that, I think, that's the beauty of this. No matter what season you are going through in life, there is always a way out, and there is a lot of beauty behind that. That's how I
Yeah,
really believe that.
yeah, yeah. Giving ourselves permission to heal automatically gives other people permission to heal.
Yes.
Giving ourselves permission to shine automatically gives other people permission to shine. Even with you shining on the podcast today, I have felt my energy lift because you're unapologetic in the work that you do in being a healer on the planet. That has given me permission to stand more fully in that today as well. When people come to you and they are experiencing grief, it could be what we call the good grief of life. It's like, oh, good grief, I've got a job, so I'm able to eat. Good grief, I've got a job, so I'm able to pay my bills. Good grief, we're on the internet here, so the good grief is that the bill, is going to come for the internet that we're using. That could be a bit of good grief. And then there's also the awful grief that you've experienced in your life from having lost everything to a scam. What do you think are some of the lessons that grief, whether it's good, quote unquote, good or bad, what do you think grief is trying to teach us?
I think for everybody, grief, you cannot stereotype grief in the same way for everybody because there are different types of modalities of grief. Grief, for example, for a loss of a loved one, someone that you deeply love, and you are grieved from that. Grief from a traumatic relationship, a narcissistic relationship. Grief from when you lose your own child. Grief, for in my case, that was one of the situations was that I lost everything. For me, really was to try to get that situation of the grief. And first, to be honest, at the beginning, I just tried to understand what emotions was coming that is came. And like I told at the very beginning of this episode, the first thing that came to me very strong was shame, a huge shame. I took a whole week, Dr. Flo, to be able to tell my family what had happened to me, because I felt so much shame to spread that and tell, and they make us feel that way. And then I had to understand that forgiving myself and giving myself love and start to understand, okay, that happened to me. I lost literally everything. Was not everything, and even pay. I had a huge debt that I never had before in my life. So I was always debt free in my life. And then I found something that maybe for no, maybe, that for me was very important for me. That it has helped me a lot is God, spirituality, universe, energy, whatever you believe, start to send me beams of light on my way. That because when I lost this, one thing that was I always prayed for God, or I ask, please, my spirit, my guardian angels, for don't lose all the progress of the evolve that I have been going through the life, like because I was living constantly before this constant light and the love and the gratitude in my life was, so they start to send to me, the universe start to send me people that had no obligation to help me. And suddenly that's why I became a Pilates instructor. Look at how interesting is that. So I was always doing Pilates, and then when I had to tell the Pilates instructor that I was not going to be able to continue that because I lost everything, 3 weeks later, she calls me and tells Andrea, the owner of the Pilates place, he wants to train you for free. That's thousands of dollars. And if you want, you can become a Pilates instructor.
Mm.
What I may say by that is be open to whatever the universe is trying to give it to you. And then embrace that. You don't have to go navigate through that alone, because many people, because of shame or because of traumas, they feel that they have to first, let's say, about the grief. In my case, was shame, the most difficult thing. Some people, they are manipulated and being in narcissistic relationship. They don't know how to live that situation. But remember, if you are open, uh, angels, whatever you want to call, beings of light will come to a way to help you. But most importantly, you have to look at yourself at the mirror. If you have to cry, 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 because I had days that I could barely function. So I let myself to cry. I let myself to cry a lot. And then when I start to release a lot, I know that I have techniques that some people don't know how. Like for them, I do a lot of breath work. I do meditation. I walk. I clear myself. I do energy work in myself. But was mainly really knowing that I was in this fight and the flight mode, and I have to find a way to find a way to start to feel safe again with myself. How I found that was first for me was forgiving myself and giving myself love, a lot of love. Look at him in the mirror and tell, do you know what that happened to me? But that doesn't define who you are. Doesn't matter what you are going through your life, those situations don't define who you are. But it's give you a chance to learn from that experience and use that to become a stronger. In my case, I learned that I'm much stronger than I know. I'm much more resilient than I know. And I tell you, I'm really damn proud of the woman that I'm becoming now, that I became, and I'm still becoming. To unpeel all those layers that I was before, I'm a completely different person. That is, do you know the beauty of that for me, Dr. Flo? Look, I'm still in a very difficult situation in my life. I did not overcome this. This was last year, so it was 1 year now. It was 2 days ago. It was 1 year that I found out. But I appreciate life now. So the little things in life, I learned how to appreciate that. I learned to have a deep appreciation for life, for everything. I still wake up every day. Oh my God, I wake up and tell, thank you, God, for all the lessons that you gave to me. But thank you, God, I'm alive. I have beauty around me, and I'm a big of this light and the love, and I want to spread my story because I want to help people and know there is always a way out. Because look, I had many difficult seasons in my life. It was not just about the skin, it was other seasons in my life as well. But every season, I become a more evolved being, and I come out of that season with so much love to spread it to humanity. Let's be this big of love and light. That's who I am, and I'm so proud of me. To be honest, I'm then proud of the woman that I became. And you, whoever is listening to this, has to be proud of who you are. And another thing that I think that is very important too, let's stop living to other people's approval. We have to learn to love ourselves so unconditionally that we know that we don't need nobody's approval to live the life in our own standards. We don't need that because when we learn to love ourselves unconditionally, know our value, Dr. Flo. If people they don't accept us the way that we are, they are not supposed to be in our lives to start with. So stop diminish your own light just to please other people. Stop doing that because the only way that you can find live a life in a very fulfilled and grateful way that no matter what life is thrown at you, you can still wake up with grace, with gratitude, and this deep love is be your true authentic self. And knowing that your light will go to the right people. If your own light bothers someone, those people are not supposed to be in your life. And that's how I learn, and that's how I keep it going. And I lost people on the way, absolutely. But I learned something much more important. I wake up every day and you know how beautiful is life. Can you imagine how beautiful, what opportunity for us to be in this planet Earth, to be evolving, to be here, and go to all those emotions and give us space to grow and become the most beautiful, authentic beings that you can be, our higher selves. That's something that's priceless, and that's the beauty of life. And if you don't go so difficult seasons in life, you are not going to learn to keep it to evolve. Unfortunately, the only way that we are spirits, but as human, that we can learn most of the time is what? Is through pain. And it's through difficult situations in life. That's when we realize that we are much better and much stronger than we are. That's how I feel. But also we cannot stop feeling. Stop it. Another thing that is very important is when this happened to me. So at the beginning, I was make sure that I did not want to victimize myself because that's a very very difficult spot that you can put yourself because you become on this loop and you don't know how to get out of that. You stop it because there is always both sides. In every coin, you toss the coin. There are two different situations in every single life. Don't focus on the worst. Focus on what you can learn of that experience. And to be honest, I mean, it was 1 year ago. Right now, I feel that finally life is in a way that I feel very peaceful and very grateful for everything in my life. And I just want to help people to find their own light.
Ooh, my peace bearing and peace bringing and peace offering soul sister. I love it. I it took me decades to discover a piece like this, and like you, I'm never going to let it go. I'm never going to let it go. It's so fulfilling. Your work brings together several approaches. You talk about Reiki, hypnotherapy, meditation, energy healing, breath work, movement, all kinds of holistic practices. For a person that's out there who may have heard about Reiki before, I think that's the one that people are like, what is that? Like, could you explain to us, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, what
Mhm.
Reiki is in your own words?
Yeah, so we are beings of energy, okay? The universe is energy, and everything around the eyes is energy. So our body has several centers of energy. The centers of energy, like we have thousands, that people for Reiki and for energy healing, other model they call chakras. So chakras, for someone that it heard about or heard does have no idea what is that, is nothing more, nothing less than fields of energy. So when we go through traumas in life, so difficult situations in life, So what happened, those traumas is lodged in different parts of the body, and they are lodged on these energy fields that we call chakras. So even though we have thousands of chakras or energy fields in our body, most people they work with most practitioners with 7. I work with 9, but what happens is our trauma, our emotions, whatever happens in life, usually they go to be lodged in some parts of our body, and then that's what it calls chakras. So what Reiki does is we start little by little, we start to realign your centers of energy that your body has. And when you start to clear those blockages in those energy fields, and little by little, what will happen, you start to, I always tell people, don't expect one session in your life you to transmute from 0 to 100, nothing like that. But little by little, what will happen, because when someone comes to me, for example, and you don't even have to be in front of me, you can be, don't have to be physically in front of me, because it's all energy, it can be far away. But when I work someone, what happens, we balance those chakras, and the person finish the session balanced. But after a session, some things can happen. Some people don't experience anything. Some people, the next day, they feel much lighter. Some people, they feel very drained, the opposite. So this means that you are releasing so much that is the way that you are released, so you feel drained. So that's why we, at least I like to do the next day after a session, what I call rainbow healing. That's unconditional love to raise the vibration. But what happens after a few sessions, you start to react to life in a different perspective. You start to feel lighter. You start to feel more aligned with your true authentic self. You start to see life with a different perspective, and even make changes in your life. It's not in me, is that, because that's the thing. I don't do the work for you, Dr. Flo. Let's say you, Andrea, I want to do a session, as you had said. I can guide you to help to guide you to get there, but I cannot do the work for you. You have to be willing to unlayer every shred that is left, that's blocking you, that's underneath here in your subconscious mind. You have to be able to know that you come to the surface, you'll be easy. Hell no. It's like, look, healing is a roller coaster. Why do you think so many people they avoid to do the healing work? Because it's not easy. Sometimes it's painful, but what happens is over time the bumps will be less, and at some point when life comes to you, you won't fall as much. You fall much less, and then you come back to here. And you are constantly healing. Healing is eternal work, but I tell you, it's very fulfilling. And in the end, you feel so much lighter. So the Reiki and the other energy modalities, what it does, nothing more, nothing less than balance these energy fields. And over time, you have less and less blockages of these energy fields called the chakras. And that's when you start to become a new being, a new person, and you start to feel so much lighter. You start to make decisions differently in your life, and you start to wake up feeling grateful and peaceful. And that's what most people come to me. Some people they come to me and tell, "Oh no, Andre, I have a lot of trauma," but some people they just don't right away. They don't tell that. They come to me and I don't know what, I'm very stressed. I have been very anxious. I'm in other situations they tell. But after a few sessions, they start to feel so much lighter, and they feel, they come to me and tell, Andre, I don't know what happened, but I feel a new person. And that's the beauty of it, of energy healing, because we work in the holistic way. And in some cases, I don't do hypnotherapy with everybody. In specific situations, hypnotherapy can help. It can help in some ways. It's very like, usually I do hypnotherapy for my clients that come to me to do my program. I have a program called Anchor. That's a 90 days program, and I combine different modalities. And they also, the person that comes to the session, to the Anchor, they always have, I always send them with a meditation and the homework for the week, and they can go to the next session. I do energy work, I do different things, sometimes hypnotherapy, in very few cities, sometimes past life regression. And then because everybody is different, it's not one program fits all. It's customized to everybody's needs. But what I realized on my program was that I was working with people to do random sessions, but was not having the result that I would like to, because it's not in one session. It has to be over time. But what I realized was most people after 2 months, they are practically, they are tell, you know, Andrea, I'm in a very different place. So I make 3 months program. That's how I like to work, because they really, I'm helping people to have the transformation that they are willing to have. Stop the fight and the flight mode that they are. Stop to be high functional from the outside, but from the inside they are on the fight and the flight mode. They are unhappy. They don't feel peaceful. They don't feel aligned with their true authentic selves. And they stop to wake up, because I wake up every day nowadays. It took a long time for me to get here. But no matter what life, I wake up every day and I open my eyes and I feel that lightness in my heart space. And I feel that joyful to the life that I have. And I wake up and feel, oh my God, I'm so grateful. There is so much beauty around me in the world. So I just wake up ready to spread my light to others. And that's the beauty of it. That's what I want to look. And I did that, Dr. Flo. I started that to heal myself. So I realized that if I can get to this point, everybody can get to this place. Everybody can
Yes.
sacrifice and give you constant light and love. Not telling that life is going to be easy. No, life is not easy. It's challenging. But even though you, through the challenge, you can still find this deep inner peace and delight and appreciation for life. And most importantly, for this unconditional love. Because one thing that I tell people is very important. I learned that there is no one more important for you to love than whoever is staring at you in the mirror. That's yourself. If you don't love yourself unconditionally, you'll never be able to really be fulfilled in life. We need to learn to love ourselves unconditional and know that we are amazing beings with so much beauty inside ourselves. And let's spread that beauty to others.
I love it. I love it. I love this is also more than this than a simple philosophy for you. You built your entire work around helping people navigate these journeys through pura vida, wellness, and holistic healing. Could you tell us a bit about pura vida, and also who do you most enjoy supporting through your work?
Oh my God. Like Pura Vida for me, that's so funny how the name starts. For many people that have been in Costa Rica, I never been Costa Rica, by the way, but I love the mojo of Costa Rica. Like what's behind that? And it really is live your life in your true authentic self, in your very harmonious ways, that you feel grace in everything in your life, that you feel appreciation for life and for everything. So I love to help people that are open to do the inner work. And I tell you, that's why usually before I have a client, I make sure that I have a discovery call over Zoom, because I have to see if you are a good match. What I'm telling by that is sometimes you have an amazing healer in front of you, but if your energy don't match, don't align, that person is not going to be able to help you deeply. So I need to be able to understand that we are a good match, because if you are a good match, then you are going to be open to receive that healing, that session, whatever you need to be receiving. So it's very important to build trust, and whatever you guys are looking for, go to a practitioner, a holistic practitioner, any practitioner that you really trust, that you feel safe around them, that you know that there is love coming from them, and that they really want to try to help you. And that's how I started that, the Pura Vida Wellness and the holistic healing, because I don't, for example, I do Reiki, but usually it's not like I don't just do Reiki. It's like the way that I do, I use the geometry on my healings, I do Reiki, sometimes breathwork. What I say is every case is different. And that you asked me what type of people like to help most is people that are willing to do the inner work, and they want to get better. They want to find a purpose in their life. They want to find themselves, the back to themselves. back to home. They wanted to, whatever is in front of them, they are staring to themselves and they recognize they want to find that back home in a way that the home, there is a lot of beauty behind that, and be willing to do that work. That's the type of person that I work with everybody, men, women, teenagers. I work before, old people, but it's people that are willing to be open and to accept and do the inner work. That's the most amazing. When I have amazing results are the people that are willing to do that, and that's, I tell you, that's priceless. And I feel so blessed that I'm a vessel of the spiritual world, God, whatever you believe, but I'm just a vessel here, because here I'm just a vessel of this love coming to me and I spread it to others. So that's brought me to do this, to help myself, to help my daughter.
This is why I love connecting with you. This will not be the last time that you're going to hear from Andrea, because we're going to be partnering from the West Coast to the East Coast and around the world. And the people who speak the Portuguese, we're going to be
Vamos falar
just,
português, vamos falar português. Let's speak Portuguese to those people.
yeah, tudo bom, tudo bem. And let them all know they are so loved and lovable. How do you say you are loved and lovable in Portuguese?
Você é amado e você é amável.
Ah, I love it. I love it.
Você é amado, você é amado. This means you are lovable. And you are loved and lovable. You are loving. Você é amado e você é amável.
I love it. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. Where can
Yes.
people connect with you and learn more about your sessions and your workshops and also your memoir?
Yeah, oh, my memoir, I'm on the editing phase of my memoir. So my memoir, I'm still on the editing phase. So I'll try to see if I can find a publisher. But if I can't, I'm going to publish my memoir on Amazon. If I cannot find it, probably beginning of next year. But my memoir talks about not just the difficult seasons of my life, Dr. Flo, because I also had very beautiful seasons on my life. Try to find myself again on my healing. I went to amazing places like, for example, Nepal. I went to Peru. I went to Sedona, and all those chapters, I had amazing encounters in my life. And I know for some people it might be difficult to understand this, but for some people they don't believe that. But I had encounters with past lives of mine. Even one time that I will go very fast here. When I was in Peru, I met a native Indian that when he touched me, I saw the life that we had back together. And it's things like that. Yes. So my memoir tells not just about the traumatic seasons of my life and the difficult seasons of my life. Of course, my memoir will talk about my divorce, talk about my daughter's depression, talk about the skin. That is very important for people to understand how that happened. I explain more detail how that happened for people to be aware. And also, I talk about my twin flame journey that was very difficult, traumatic for me. But I also talk about how I became who I became, and through the beauty of those beautiful seasons that I had encountered with the spiritual world. That's why I feel so grateful, so amazed by life, because I had very beauty behind me as well that could encounter. So yeah, so I'm excited for my memoir, and hopefully I can help people to relate to that, and in some way that I can encourage them, and knowing that there is always light. My memoir is probably hopefully in the beginning of next year. How they can find me, I have my website, that's Pura Vida Wellness and Holistic Healing, and also the Instagram, Andrea Inojosa Healing. They get that information. My website is being rebuilt, but they can still find us today, me over there. They find my contact telephone number, my email. That also is Andrea at Pura Vida Wellness and Holistic Healing. And then they can find me through that. And you remember that you are stated. I just love what you wrote here. You are lovable, capable, unstoppable. And I love that, because you are such a beacon of light and love, Dr. Flo. Since we connected last time, I felt your beautiful energy. You have such a beautiful energy, and You are a like I told you before, you are a light work like myself, but in a different way. We all of us we can be light work. We are light workers as long as we are willing to spread our own light and don't let that light be dimmed by seasons in your life or by people in your life. When you accept your true authentic self and that light will spread it bigger than ever, and that you are going to spread that to others is beautiful. That's how I feel. I just love it. I love it to spread the light and the love to others.
What a gift it is. And what a gift this exchange has been today. One of our audience members, Tara Partolo Studio, said, "Thank you for lifting us today." Such a gift. Such a gift to lift and to be lifted in this life.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
my
Andrea. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your work. And thank you for reminding us that healing doesn't always arrive as one dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes healing is a slow walk, one breath, one choice, one compassionate movement, one return to yourself at a time. And to everyone listening today, whether you happen to be on your own walk home, please remember that you do not have to become a perfect version of yourself before you're worthy of compassion, community, support, or love. You are worthy now. You are loved and lovable, or as they say in Portuguese,
Você é muito amado ou amada e você é muito amável. And you are
yes.
so right. Look, for healing is a slow walk back to yourself. Is a slow walk home. Healing is not a rush. Healing cannot be done out of here. Healing is a slow process, but in the end, is very fulfilling because you find that inner peace. For me, one thing I'll just to finish this because I have to finish. But for me, people ask me, "What is happiness for you?" For me, is me be able to wake up every day feeling grateful with this inner peace and feel joy. So for me, every people asking me what is happiness. Happiness for me is this: is me be able to wake up every morning with this deep inner peace, self-love, and acceptance and the joy. And when I look at me in the mirror, I'm then proud of who I am, and I love myself so unconditional, and I have a huge light to spread it to others. And for me, this is happiness. Be your true authentic self and have this inner peace. That for me is happiness. There is nothing better to describe for me happiness that you wake up every day feeling grateful and peaceful in your life.
Could you tell them for a few seconds everything you just shared in a nutshell in Portuguese for our Portuguese listeners out there?
Yes. Okay, let me see. Yes. Gente, lembre de uma coisa. Para mim, felicidade é você poder acordar todos os dias se sentindo com essa paz interior, essa sensação de paz, essa sensação de conforto, de gratidão. Para mim, felicidade é isso, é você poder acordar todos os dias, feeling paz e também se sentindo com muita gratidão e sentir essa alegria de poder todos os dias acordar e sentir essa paz no seu coração, essa sensação de paz enorme e amor por você mesmo e gratidão por tudo que não importa o que a vida está levando para você, mas que você possa acordar com gratidão, com amor no seu coração e com uma grande paz. E eu amo vocês, audiências brasileiras, quem fala português. In the humanity too, I was telling in Portuguese, Dr. Flo, that I love you guys and never stop shine your own light because there is always a way out. And I love you so much, so, so much. I want to send you a lot right now. I want to send to you a huge amount of love and the light, and that love and the light can spread to all your body and go straight to your heart space to shine your own light and the love. You are lovable, you are loving, you are damn freaking amazing. Remember that. Remember. And I love you all.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I've got like tears welling up in my eyes. I don't know what you were saying to me in Portuguese, but my soul felt it deep, 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 deep. And I cannot wait to clip that and just to spread that message into the world this week. There are people in this world, folks, who want to see you heal. They want to see you grow. They want to see you thrive, and they want to see you become more fully yourself. People like Andrea Inojosa. And I'm Dr. Flo today. This has been another wonderful, wonderful conversation from Love and Action Network. Y'all keep choosing love, keep choosing healing, and whenever you can, don't forget to put love in action. We'll see you next time.